Hey, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're from. This is Steve Bedell, your EXP Realtor, coming to you from the Villages, Florida today. It's October, 19, I think. We got a beautiful day. It was cool this morning, maybe in the 50s. Going to be about in the 80s today, so wonderful day in the Villages. If you're thinking of coming down, visit, moving, get in touch with me. Let me see what we can do for you. Okay. So today I got something. Oh, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the videos, please. It means so much to us and helps more people get to see our information. Alrighty, with that out of the way, we got a really interesting one for you that I just found out about this loan program. I should have asked how long it's been around. I don't know, but here's the deal. Think about it like this. How would you like to buy, let's say you've saved up or you've sold another house or whatever, but let's say you've got $300,000 cash. You want to buy a house, but you're going to watch your budget. You don't want to be paying payments, so that limits you to a $300,000 house if you're paying cash. Again, we're not assuming closing costs, all that, we're not nitpicking at this stuff, but 300,000 bucks you want to spend on a home, and you don't want to be paying any payments. Well, how about this? How about you put your 300,000 down, you buy a $500,000 house, and you don't pay any payments. Now, how does that sound to you? So you get a much nicer house. You're out the same amount of money to begin with, and you're still living, you've still got your budget and the same one that you had before on the $300,000 house. Well, how's that work? How is that possible? Well, that's what I'm here to tell you. The best I can. Remember, I'm not a mortgage broker, I'm not a banker, I'm not a lawyer. I'm just giving you a brief outline of how this thing looks to me. This is not financial advice. I suppose I should say that because everybody else, when they talk about this kind of stuff, does it. But anyway, yeah, this is just kind of maybe leading you in the right direction, because if you like what you're going to look at today, what you're going to see, contact me and I will put you in the proper people who have all the information, and they'll take care of you and answer any questions that you might have. Okay, so here's how things work. Here's how it's an FHA loan program, and it does have, of course, it's got some guidelines to it. So here's how it works. You got four big things in the middle here. All right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 1, you have to be 65 or older, 65 years old or older, to qualify for this program. You might see why in a little bit. Minimum value of the home that you're buying has to be $300,000. Okay, you with me so far? The minimum mortgage amount that they're going to lend is $120,000. I'll put dollar signs there so we all know what we're talking about here versus that. Okay? $120,000 minimum amount that they're going to lend you. Alright? And here's the big thing. The loan to value ratio can't exceed 40%. Okay. And we'll draw that right out for you in a minute, because I'm gonna do an example. So, you got all that in mind? Here's how it works now. Let's say, okay, let's do this. Someone remind me to get a new marker. Okay. Alright, let's take the example I was just telling you about. Okay. We want to get a house. Owner occupied, of course. House. We want to get a $500,000 house. We'll write these right out like that. You want to get a $500,000 house now. So here's how you do that. Remember, you got $300,000. $300,000 put down. You got $300,000 like that. So you pay $300,000. You buy a $500,000 home. Your loan is going to be $200,000, obviously. Okay. So how does that work? We got a $500,000 house. You're paying 60%. 300,000 is 60% of 500,000. So there's where our 40 loan to value, 40% lies. The loan is $200,000, but your payment or lack of is 0. So how's that? So now all of a sudden you're living in a $500,000 house. You paid, well, for a $300,000 house, if you want to look at it that way, because you're not paying anything else right now. And boom, you're happy. You got the same budget, you got the same amount of money to spend every month. You can go out and party at the squares, go out to dinner all the time, do whatever you feel like doing, because you paid $300,000 down on the house. So how does that work? Well, the $200,000 isn't free. Obviously, pretty nice, huh? But the $200,000 and the interest that's accrued on it is not payable back until the house sells. Okay? Not until the house sells. So let's say you buy this house, you follow this scenario here, you live in it 10 years, then you sell the house. Now you owe the $200,000 plus the interest. But you figure in most cases your equity is going to even rise during all of this. If it doesn't, there are safeguards in mind to make sure you never go underwater. Again, these are details that you have to ask somebody else about that. But you can see the beauty of this. You can live, and you can, let's say you want to live there till you die. You can just live there in a $500,000 house. Then you basically paid $300,000 if you want to look at it that way. So, isn't that interesting? Now here's a few other little things that I know about it. I think it's pretty innovative and hey, pretty cool stuff. You do pay off the principal and interest. The interest is based, this is an FHA, so the interest amounts, they do vary through the years, and they're based on FHA mortgage interest rates. It is FHA insured. And here's a big thing. Let's say in 2 years, you say, well, maybe I don't want to have all that interest accruing all this time while I have it. Maybe you don't. So you can say, well, I'm going to pay $50,000 of it down right now. You can do that. There's no prepayment penalty, and they even have a provision. Again, these are the details that you need to talk to somebody else more qualified than me about. But you can even have relatives. If you want to sell the property to a relative, they can acquire, not assume, this loan. You can qualify and all that stuff, of course, but they would get a 5% discount on the loan. I'm not quite sure where that 5% comes from, but I know they get a deal because they're not paying any fees, any realtor fees, any of that kind of stuff. So how's that? Pretty interesting. Come down to the villages, bring your $300,000. Of course, you can use this at as long as the minimum. Any house that's $300,000, and I mean that. Where's our minimum? Yeah, $300,000 up. Come down here, check this out. Live like a king. Live beyond your means. Isn't that what everyone loves to do? So I hope you enjoyed that. Very interesting program. If you want to find out more about this, contact me. Email me, call me, and I will put you in touch with people who can explain this, and you can decide at that point if it's a good thing for you. Okay? All right, that's all I got for you today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll be seeing you next week with another issue of our weekly newsletter. And again, once again, thanks for being with me and watching the videos. I hope they're helpful and informative.